Hello everyone, what's happening? This is what is happening. One of the best times in Delhi weather, I would say. Fantastic blue sky and white clouds. That's how the roof looks like. Also, there's a lot of destruction. So today I'm going to show you a little another recycling update. And where is this, by the way, where is this coming from and what is this? This is gypsum board, which we mostly use for the false roof. And where it is coming from, well, that's what is happening here. That's my little office space which used to be, and now this is coming off little by little, board by board, as the Delhi is going through heavy rains, and this is what is happening. This is what it is doing to this beautiful little rooftop office. Now I can't use it because I really don't know when this one will also come down. And as you can see, there is water leakage from the roof, which never used to happen earlier because Delhi never really have that kind of rain, and it is just this time. And probably there is certain problem with also the roof, that it is leaking. So yes, I have to get the roof also corrected, but yeah, this is what you get for now. This is what it is. I am left with this rubble, a lot, and a lot is coming from inside. So trying to recycle this. Why I am recycling this is because this is what I found on Google, and it's a great source of information, obviously, which you can cross-check and then probably take your idea further, take your little research further. What I'm doing right now is I'm mixing this, you see, with the soil, and then trying to grow plant in them. Alright, let's see what Google has to say about our little inquisition, our question. So I'll just type some keywords or a question about gypsum, and let's see whether we get some help from Google. So is gypsum compostable? So it says, and there are very many questions, as you see. Can I put gypsum in my compost? Does gypsum biodegrade? Is gypsum bad for environment? So on and so forth. I'm going to click each one of these and try to find out whether we can recycle gypsum or we can have it for plants, etc. Gypsum is compostable. Can I put gypsum in my compost? Gypsum is compost additive, minimizes the greasiness compost tends to have. Gypsum also aids in the composting process by reducing nitrogen losses. It ties up this nitrogen as ammonium sulfate, improves compost aeration, and enhances the microbial growth. Retaining the nitrogen increases heat and reduces unpleasant odor, which we can understand from the perforated nature of this board, so on and so forth. Does gypsum biodegrade under oxygen depleted conditions, such as in a landfill or several feet underground in a convert hole, the gypsum calcium sulfate is drywall. In drywall can decompose to release the noxious gas hydrogen sulfide. Alright. Is gypsum safe for our organic gardening? Gypsum is non-toxic and safe to use around people and pets. It works well throughout the yard or garden and can be applied to lawns, vegetable or flower gardens and around trees and shrubs. Okay, so we have our answer. If you like, you may also go to these websites and probably not just rely on what Google is saying, and then go further, read about these things and make your decision. For now, at least I am taking this opportunity, this risk, this experimentation further, and going further with my little inquisition, trying to understand whether these pieces of gypsum would work for the plants or not. That also time is going to tell me. As we got to know from little research that and many people also actually wrote about scientific papers on this, and the gypsum, as we now understood that it does not really fiddle around with plants or the nutrition of the plant, etc. So that's why I'm going ahead with this particular mixture, and this is how I'm going to recycle this whole gypsum board, which has just fallen apart and now falling down. The next step, probably I'll go with some sort of PVC or something which is very, very long lasting, and also it would not absorb water, etc., etc. So yeah, that is what I'm deciding for the interiors. But so far, yeah, this is what I'm left with, and I need to rather just throwing it away, and I know that these people, either it will go to landfill or it might really just end up here in this beautiful forest, because most of these garbage collectors, they just will collect this kind of thing and they just chuck it inside these beautiful little city forests, which is a very, very terrible thing. So hopefully this idea works out and it does not hamper the plants. Let's see. Alright, what you see here is, so when you have these boards, there is that's gypsum board, and as you can see, it's nice and perforated. It's light, it's not heavy, it's all perforated, which can actually be very good for the plants. It's nice and aerated, so it's kind of an aerosol. And there is this paper, cardboard paper, like a brown paper sort of a thing. And the problem here is that we painted, so it has the painted side and it has the inner side. So the painted side I'm planning to remove, because all the paint is obviously not compostable. So I'm going to remove this from these pieces, and once it is removed, as you can see you see these insects also. So it's a good sign that it's not very toxic in nature, and that's why they are thriving there. And on another side also it's brown, no problem, all these insects are already there. this is a very good sign. So what I'm doing is I'm just collecting these, separating it from this, and taking these pieces out, these painted side out, and this, yes, I will have to chuck finally. So hopefully it will go to some sort of recycling plant where the cardboard is being recycled, something like that, and not end up in the landfill. Although there are great chances that this will end up in the landfill, but at least I can in one way save the plants from from this painted side. Although I think that this may not also hamper the plant so much, because this is a water-based paint which after drying becomes non-reactive in a way. But still, I know that there is no nutritional value, neither this would get composted very well or very fast, and that's why I made a point that I peel these off from these ones, yeah, like this. So you can see that once it's soaked in water, it easily comes out. And then I have these pieces, absolutely no problem with these. They break very easily, as you can see. I can just break them with one hand, and so I'm collecting them separately. And then, as you have seen, I will little bit like this, I'll distribute them here and there, because of the perforation and that quality. It will also help in absorbing the moisture, absorbing water, keep the soil little wet even in summer seasons. I'm hoping that it will not really prove to be wrong, this whole idea, and it will not hamper the plants in any ways possible. So yes, this is also another experimentation for sure, but yes, experimentation based on little research, and not just like that. Yes, this one is growing, probably the first sweet fruit which we'll have from this plant. Back in the past there were two, but then they also fell off during the hard winds, but this one survived and doesn't look like it will fall away, because as you can see the stem is very thick, and plants also have their own way of propagation and preservation of the fruit, so that the seeds survive and the fruit survives, so the seeds survive, and there is a way that the next plant would also be there. So that's the natural process. But for us, yes, hopefully we'll get this fruit to eat this time. When you have a rubble like this, it's better that you take out the good stuff and let the bad stuff be there, so that it can be collected well and disposed away safely. So almost all of it is gone. As I have many pots here, I will try and distribute this rubble in them, but I am also taking care at the same time that I don't overdo with these things, because it is an experiment. I don't know if it will do some harm to the plants, although as I've shown you from our little Google Guru research, and also actually people presented papers on this, so I'm hoping that it really doesn't do harm to the plant, because it is kind of an inert material. It doesn't react with water or with things, and probably will not create bad stuff for the plants. So any which ways I will be careful for the first time, and then any which ways it's not that I'm going to have this again and again in my life. I'm done with this, but it's just that I wanted to see if I could use this because of this good perforated quality of this board, which can be really helpful for plants, at least in summertime, by absorbing some water and keep the moisture in and around the plants. So all these are connected, and now I will throw them into such bigger pots, and I'll make each one of these to half and kind of fill it with some sort of manure or soil or something which is very rich in organic material right now, so that it sort of balances out with this very inert something which has no nutrition at all. So it will balance it out, and then probably some plants will already start growing in it. I see most of the times this one comes on its own, so probably we'll see some of them sprouting in there. And well, that's it. And then I also replanted these today from those bottles, those ones. So earlier all these plants were in those bottles, but because they grew taller, as you see, so even with a small gust of wind they would all fall down. So I have shifted them here, and this pot was empty because there was this kind of a plant, I don't remember what is it called. So this was there and it died one of these harsh summers. So now I have put these ones there. I'm liking it. I had this in my mind. Many people don't like this particular plant, but I like it because it flowers all year long. And yeah, for this reason I really like this one.